My name is Crystal Netti. I'm a two-time Canadian Olympian. I'm a Commonwealth Games champion, Pan Am Games champion. I'm the Canadian record holder, and I'm Ghanaian by birth. Stick around and listen to my story. I got into sport at a very young age. At the age of 3, I was already participating in club sports. My dad was super into fitness. He was a marathon runner himself, and he didn't like the idea of kids sitting at home watching TV. So he enrolled me and my siblings in swimming, ice skating, volleyball, basketball, you name it, I was in it. Some of the challenges that I faced as a woman in sport, or I would say as a young girl in sport, initially when I started sports, it was solely based on as a fitness thing that my parents were into. And then as I started getting better and better in sports, and they realized that it was taking away time from my academics, that really wasn't their goal, because their goal was just to do enough for fitness. And as I started to excel, I was being scouted for different teams, and they weren't too excited about the time that I had to spend on sport rather than academics. So I will say, it was kind of a little bit of a tug of war between myself and my parents at a young age. And as I grew up, I would say how society undervalues women in sports. I think that we're just breaking the mold now in terms of being valued as athletes and being seen as, I wouldn't say even as equal as to men, but I think people are starting to respect and appreciate the work that women are putting into their sport now, and it being shown on a global stage. I think at the end of the day, women don't really care that much about the acknowledgement or the attention. They really just want to be able to see the same dollars that men receive when they're able to perform. We put in just as much time, effort, sacrifice. There's so much sacrifice that goes into sport, whether it's you're missing your best friend's wedding or you're missing your mother's birthday, or whatever the case is. And men have to go through it, women go through it just as much. And we're sacrificing time with just friends and all sorts of things. And men are, for some reason, respected so much more for their sacrifice and dedication when women do just the same. And we would like to see it paid back in dollars. When I won gold in 2018, it was like the most exciting thing. I had been battling a few years, up and down, injuries, the change of training environments. So it was like finally things came together. I feel like my preparation up into the Commonwealth Games was perfect. It was my second Commonwealth Games, and I really just wanted to show people like I'm back and I was able to do that. So yeah, it was a great feeling. My mom was able to come out as well. So yeah, it was just really, really special. In the winter of 2017, I came to Ghana to train, to do my base training to prepare me for the 2018 Commonwealth Games. So I was here for about 8 weeks, and I was training at Elwak Stadium between Elwak and the University of Ghana, and I was using the Air Force gym. And that's when I was doing my base training here. I went back to the States, which is my home base. That's where I train. And then that April, I flew to Australia for the Commonwealth Games, where I was able to win. And I think that just goes to show the testament of what Ghana can bring out in the world stage. At that time, the facilities I was using were quite decent. It's been some years since then, and they've significantly declined. It would be nice if there was more of an emphasis on those facilities, improving those facilities, so that athletes such as myself, or even local athletes, or even athletes like Ghanaian athletes that do train abroad can come home and be able to do base training such as I did during that season and was able to produce a gold. Track and field is probably one of the only sports that is absolutely full body. So my training is targeted for the whole body. Everything needs to be in sync. Any weaknesses will show. So I'm in the weight room 3 to 4 times a week. If I'm not in the weight room, I'm doing bodybuilding stuff, and I'm on the track 6 days a week for most of the season that I'm not competing. And the majority of my training is very specific. I'm a long jumper, but I only jump once or twice a week. I'm sprinting, I'm doing long endurance work, plyos, very dynamic. Track and field is extremely dynamic, and I'm a long jumper who does this. You'll see the same thing with javelin throwers, high jumpers. Like, track and field is very dynamic across the board. The hardest thing about track and field, I'd probably say, is the discipline in your diet. I'll say when I come to Ghana, it's really hard to eat as healthy as I want because the foods are so heavy and there's so many amazing foods, and when you're coming on vacation, you just want to try everything that you haven't been able to have for a while. So when I'm in Ghana, I really try to, the carbs are really good. That's the thing. I would say the carbs are really clean. It's the portion control. So I love kenke, I love gari, I love fufu, but I'm just not eating as much. My portions are a lot smaller. Protein's important, of course. I'm a big chicken, beef eater. I don't really eat pork. And vegetables, of course. When I'm in the West, it's a lot easier, I would say, to control what I'm eating because I'm cooking for myself and I know exactly what I'm making. But I would say, like, the food just tastes so much better on this side. I think it's really important to get young girls and women into sport. I started sport at a young age because of health, which I think is extremely important. Whether you want to become an Olympian or you just care about your heart, I think it's extremely important to be active, and it only pays off in the long run. Personally, I have a passion for young kids and athletics, and that's kind of one of my passions that I'm trying to build here in Ghana. Doing sports camps within the schools, I've been able to do a few of them, and I think they've been really successful. The kids really love it. I was able to do a camp, and I partnered with Sports Equity Lab. I was invited to do a camp with Sports Equity Lab and sponsored by On Running just like 2 weeks ago. That went really great. We had about 50 kids at the University of Ghana come out, both para and able-bodied athletes, and we put them through just an exciting training regimen, and they all really loved it. And I just think that's really special to be able to, one, give back, and two, just have kids be introduced to sport. It's not that important to be the best athlete. It's more important to be able to just enjoy yourself, be able to just have awareness of your body, and just be able to, like, get your heart pumping and just be active. So what's up for me next? I will be heading back to the States soon to continue training for this Paris Olympics coming up in 2024, as well as continuing to try and build these camps within the schools. Summer is about to be here, so kids will be out of school. So I'll be really excited to just get the kids together and be able to just get them active and have fun and get them out of their parents' hair for the summer. Thanks for tuning in and listening to my story. You can keep up with me on Instagram and Twitter at Queen Christabel and on YouTube, Christabel Nete.